Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today we are going to paint Lord Invocatus. Before I start painting, I would like to make the base a little bit more interesting, and that's why I'm going to glue some battlefield rocks from the army painter. And after that, I would like to prime the miniature with Chaos Black from Citadel. Miniature primed, and now I'm going to apply this technical paint to the base, Sterland Matte. Miniature primed and technical paint dry, and as you can see here with the rocks that I add to the base, I tried them to be facing the same direction as the rocks that were already there, like the plastic ones, so they will look more natural. And when I apply the technical paint, I tried to cover like both of them a little bit, so like that they will have a similar texture and it's not going to be that different, the plastic rocks that came already with the model and the ones that I applied earlier. So like this it feels more natural. We are painting a Wolrd Eaters miniature, and that's why the first paint that I would like to use is going to be Khorne Red. I'm going to apply it only to Lord Invocatus because he rides his own unique Juggernaut, and this Juggernaut has black armor. Now I would like to start applying the metallic colors, and I will start with Iron Warriors. This is a very dark metallic color, and I would like to apply it basically to all the metallic elements that are not going to be trimmed in the armor. Basically the chainmail, the blades, the chains that we have around here that we will see nicely later, and basically all the inside parts of this Juggernaut. Now that we have some nice metallic details painted in this miniature, it is the time to paint the trim, and there's a lot of trim in this miniature, and for that I would like to use Runelord Brass. I would like to mention that I have never painted a miniature before with so much trim. I mean, as you can see, the bronze color right now, it's like super noticeable because of course there's like a lot of trim. And it's not just that, it's also that of course we have to apply 2 thin layers, and that means that we have to paint everything twice basically. So yes, it was quite exhausting at some point, but I think that it looks good and of course it was totally worth it. And now, before I continue any further, I would like to do something that maybe I should have done at the very beginning, and it's to paint the skin of Lord Invocatus, because as you can see, we can see the body under the power armor, and they are in quite hidden places, and that's why I would like to do it right now, because it probably will get a little bit messy around, and if I focus on the skin and I finish the skin, then I will be able to cover the possible mistakes if I make some mess around, and after that I should be able to paint the miniature normally. For the skin, first I would like to use Rakarth Flesh, and after that I'm going to apply this shade, Reikland Flesh shade. I still need to highlight the skin of Lord Invocatus, but it's okay, it doesn't matter, because I will only highlight the parts that are the most exposed, let's say, and that means that I will be able to reach with my brush nicely, so it's okay, no more risk of making a mess. And that's why I will prefer to highlight everything at the end, and now I will start with the shades. Basically, I applied 3 different colors and each one of them will have its own shade, so for the parts that I applied Iron Warriors to, I'm going to use Nuln Oil. Then for the red, I'm going to use Berserker Blood Shade. And finally, for all that bronze color, I will use Agrax Earth Shade. At this point, I just wanted to point out, before continuing with the shades, that I really like how Agrax Earth Shade turns this bronze color into this other bronze color. I think that Lord Invocatus looks much nicer right now. And with that being said, we can continue with the shades. Shades applied, and now I would like to paint some other details around the miniature. So here I have a selection of colors, so I would like to use Incubi Darkness to paint the holster of the pistol. Then I would like to use Cavalite Green to paint the eyes of Lord Invocatus. Here I have this technical paint, Nihilak Oxide, and I would like to use this one to paint the Wolrd Eaters logo here and here as well. And then I would like to use Wraithbone to paint the skulls in the back, and after that I would like to apply Agrax Earthshade to them as well. It is time to start with the highlights of this miniature, so I would like to start with the red, and for that I'm going to use Evil Sunz Scarlet. To finish with the red highlights, I would like to use even another lighter color, and in this case I would like to use Wild Rider Red into the areas that are going to be like the most exposed of the miniature, and I will just apply a little bit of this one. I like a lot how the red came out, and now it's time to continue with more highlights. So now I would like to do the black, and for that I would like to use two colors as well. First I will use Ashen Grey, and after that I'm going to use Dawnstone. Usually when I highlight the black color, I like the black to be very intense. Like for example, when I paint my Black Templars, I just do the edge and just the edge because I want the black to be very noticeable. In this case I tried something different. As you can see, the front part is a little bit more grayish, and in the back, yes, it's much more black and darker. So yes, I tried to do that, and I think that it looks nice, so I'm happy with the result. Now I would like to continue highlighting the miniature even more, and I would like to start highlighting the metallic colors. First, with the areas that I applied Iron Warriors previously, I would like to apply two different highlights. First, Lord Belcher, and after that, in the areas that are going to be the most exposed, a little bit of Stormhost Silver. And then for the bronze areas, I would like to apply Sycorax Bronze. For the hair, I would like to do it in a different way than the Juggernaut, so that's why I will use two different colors. First, I will apply Dark Reaper, and after that, I would like to use Fenrisian Grey in the areas that will be the most exposed. Then, I would like to use Mood Green just to add a little bit of more green highlight to the eyes, and then Sons of Horus Green to the holster of the pistol. And finally, I would like to use Wraithbone to add a little bit of highlights to these skulls right here in the back. And then for the skin, the final highlight that I will use is going to be Flayed One Flesh. Now we just need to give this miniature a nice base, and I would like to use Morphan Brown to paint all the rocks in the base, and maybe after that try to dry brush a little bit around them. And then I would like to use Agrax Earthshade all over it. To finish now, I will just use crack brown and I'm going to dry brush all over the base, and after that I would like to use Abaddon black again, and I would like to use it to correct the borders. Like for example, we can see here that I made some mistakes around, so it will look better after this. And then after I finish with the paint, I would like to glue some of this grass to the base. At this point, we can consider Lord Invocatus as finished, but I do think that the weapons of this miniature will need a little bit of blood for the blood god. And this is it, this is the final result. This is Lord Invocatus, and of course there's a lot of things that I would like to mention about this specific miniature. At this point, I would like to mention that I have my own Patreon, so if you like what I do and you would like to support my work, I invite you to check the link in the description. Actually, this is the first named character that I have ever painted on YouTube, as far as I know, unless I'm forgetting someone, that I don't think so. And I'm very happy. I put a lot of extra effort into him because, of course, this is a beautiful, very important character for the Wolrd Eaters, so of course he needs to look very great. And that's why I really hope that you enjoy the painting process and that you like this miniature. The biggest change that I made with the official art of this miniature, that I will put here on a picture, is that I changed the symbols here, because in the main one, the one that we can have as a reference, they are like basically on fire. And I didn't like that, because from my point of view that's very eye-catching. It's like the part of the miniature that I looked at the most, and even if it's very Lord accurate and it can look very nice and interesting and will differentiate more this miniature from regular the World Eaters Lord on Juggernaut, I kinda prefer them to be like the same colors that we can have in the Juggernaut and Lord Invocatus, because like this, when I have like this miniature, my eyes are going to Lord Invocatus, because of course he has like this red power armor on the black Juggernaut, and I really wanted him to be like the main protagonist here. Like when I look at this miniature, I want to look at him specifically, so that's why I decided to have the symbols like this. I also have to mention that I really love the design of this miniature, because recently when I made this fun video of my top tactical rogues, I put this miniature on a very high position, because the pose of the Juggernaut, it's awesome, it's amazing. He really is like almost flying on the battlefield. You can feel speed and movement here, and all the front of the miniature is holding because of these small rocks that we can see here, and actually it looks like super fragile, but no, I have been like moving the miniature around and painting it, and it's not that fragile as it looks. So yes, everything holds together nicely, and I'm very happy with how it looks. I also like how the base came out in the end. I put the rocks pointing in the same direction as the ones that were there with the plastic, and I basically surrounded them, so like this they look like there's some consistency. If we look closer, we can see that the ones in the center, they are plastic, and these ones are extra ones that I added, but still they don't look that different. You have to pay attention to it. So of course when it's on the battlefield, it's very good looking. I'm very used to do highlights in black power armor, because I love Black Templars, But here I tried to do something different. I tried to have less black, and I, as you can see here, I used more grays because I wanted to do something different. I wanted this miniature to be completely different from my Black Templars, so of course I wanted the black power armor to be different in the Juggernaut. So I added more grays, and I tried to make it a little bit more, not just edge highlighting, but also add more color on top of the black. You know what they say, there's not true blacks on nature, so yes, that's what I tried to do here. Maybe it's a little bit risky to experiment these kind of things in such an important miniature, but I'm happy with the results. At this point, I will also mention that I think that World Eaters, they definitely need cavalry. We need berserkers riding juggernauts, because how awesome it will be to have this miniature leading some berserkers riding other juggernauts. That will be awesome, and I cannot wait to see that, because for sure we are going to have that, because that is so cool that we need to have it in this army. I will take pictures of him later, but now that we are here, I will try to show a little bit closer the miniature, because of course it's a big one and we need to see the things in more detail. As you can see, I also tried to do something different with the mask, helmet, I'm not sure what's this, and I didn't want to have any like white or gray on the black areas. I wanted to have like red highlights on top of the black, and I'm happy with how this looks. And aside from that, I would also like to mention that I didn't want to have like a very shiny red like I did with the previous Khorne Berzerker that I painted. I wanted to have something darker with some highlights, and I think that I managed to get that again, so I'm proud of myself here. I think that I'm improving a lot, and yes, it's a very nice looking character, let's be honest. He looks very interesting. It looks very nice. I was a little bit scared of painting the skin, because of course I always put helmets, and I'm not used to paint let's say human or space marine skin on my miniatures. So yes, I was a little bit scared, but it's almost not visible at all, the human parts of him, let's say, because of course he has armor covering everything, and that's a good thing for me. Regarding the Juggernaut, I thought about adding some red paint into the teeth, but then I was like, no, maybe it's going to be too much, and no, I prefer just to have it here and on the axe of Lord Invocatus, because I don't know, probably there's never enough, but for me this was enough, and I prefer to have it like this, not add too much. And yes, it's like a very beautiful Juggernaut as well. And yes, I will turn it a little bit more just to show the things around. And for sure later I will take a lot of pictures of this one, because I like how it looks, and I will share it much more. But as it's a big miniature, I wanted to show it a little bit closer because of that, basically. And this is it, this is the end of the video, because I can't continue talking about this miniature a lot, because I like it. As I mentioned, since it was announced, I like this miniature a lot, and I'm very happy that I managed to get a nice excuse to get it. And yes, he looks fantastic, and I'm very happy. So of course, as usual, if you are still here, please consider giving me a like and subscribing. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.